إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن نبينا محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين أما بعد السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Inshallah, today's halaqah will be revisiting the khutbah that we gave just yesterday. And before we delve into the khutbah itself, the topic of the last part of the khutbah was concerning some dua or dhikr where the Prophet ﷺ mentioned great virtue, forgiveness if a person was to implement it and say it on a regular basis with conviction. But before we do that, I wish to highlight that sitting in these type of gatherings of remembrance, where you speak about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam and the religion in general, even if a person does not benefit some new information, at the very least it is one of the best ways to gain the forgiveness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Just when you sit in these type of gatherings, not only do the angels sit along with you, but also we are told that they ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for your forgiveness, along with whoever seeks knowledge. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has told us that even the fish in the sea ask for that person's forgiveness. So it might seem like something very simple, sitting here for 10-15 minutes, but in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it is something that is very much beloved. So inshallah, we'll delve straight into it. One question that I received quite a few times since the khutbah yesterday has been concerning the last part in terms of the dhikr that was mentioned. And for those of you that might not have been present or perhaps forgot, we mentioned at the very last part of the khutbah where the Prophet ﷺ mentioned a hadith. This hadith is found in Sahih ibn Hibban, where the Prophet ﷺ says that whoever says this dua, this dhikr, they will be, if they say it at the time of going to sleep, they will be forgiven their sins, even if their sins are مثل زبد البحر, equal to the foam of the sea. So you can imagine how powerful this dua, this dhikr is. And we mentioned in the khutbah that it is a very good dua, not only to implement in our daily lives, but also to teach our children. People today, what they do is, before the children go to sleep, they read a bedtime story to the child. And there's nothing wrong Islamically to read a bedtime story. But you also want to teach your child something of value, not just any type of story. If you read them a bedtime story, you read them a story that teaches them virtue. The best type of virtue is the ones that are linked to the religion. So you teach them about the companions of the Prophet ﷺ. You teach them about the Anbiya ﷺ and their stories, so that they become familiar with Islamic traditions, Muslim traditions. And also it's good to teach them from a very young age the specific dhikr and the dua, so that once they grow up, it doesn't become alien to them, it does not become unfamiliar. So this dua, the dhikr that is mentioned in this specific hadith, the Prophet ﷺ mentions that whoever says this going to sleep, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will forgive them their past sins, even if they're equal to the foam of the sea. And the dua is, لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له له الملك وله الحمد وهو على كل شيء قدير لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله wasallam, you will come to realize that these type of words are very familiar. They are repeated throughout the Quran, they're repeated throughout the Sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ, and it is not something difficult to memorize. If you want to memorize it, these are just words that are put in three places, where the first part is La ilaha illallah wahdahu la sharika lah, lahul mulk wa lahul hamd wa huwa ala kulli shay'in qadir. And then the second part is La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. And the third and last part is Subhanallah walhamdulillah wa la ilaha illallah wallahu akbar. And if you say that with firm conviction in your heart, then the Prophet ﷺ has mentioned that your past sins will be forgiven. It is important to highlight here and pause and to remind people that Islam is not a religion where you just say a few words and it dissolves everything that you've done in the past, right? The religion is there to be implemented. It's more about actions than just saying a few words. And this is in the same way that, yes, the Prophet ﷺ told us to say these words, but with it comes faith and iman. You cannot just lead a life of committing wrong and doing bad things, and then when you go to bed you say La ilaha illallah and you say the whole dhikr. No. There is supposed to be a lifestyle that goes along with it. And the only ones that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accepts from, إِنَّمَا يَتَقَبَّلُ اللَّهُ مِنَ الْمُتَّقِينَ, Allah Azza wa Jalla only accepts from the ones that have taqwa. So if you want your dua to be accepted, if you want Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to accept your dhikr, whether it is this dhikr or any type of dhikr, then you need to lead that lifestyle. We all know the story of Fir'aun, where he led a lifestyle where he went against the Prophet Musa alayhi salam. Right? And at the very last moment, at the very last end, when he saw the ocean, the water crashing down on him, and he knew that he was about to die, what did he say? He tried to say La ilaha illallah, but it was not accepted from him. Similarly, it is very wrong for a person to think that these forms of dhikr are a quick fix, that you do whatever you want and you just say La ilaha illallah, you say the dhikr, and then it will be dealt with. So this dua is supposed to make us understand that there's a lifestyle behind it, and if you really think about it, the words that you're saying, La ilaha illallah wahdahu la sharika lah, lahul mulk wa lahul hamd wa ala kulli shay'in qadir. If you understand the meaning of it, you understand that you are accountable and that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one that will ask you, La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah, that you can't do anything without the help of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, without the support of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And when you praise Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, subhanallah, alhamdulillah, wa la ilaha illallah, Allahu akbar, you are re-emphasizing that point. So that was one of the dhikr and the du'as that was mentioned in the khutbah. And I wish to add another dua, and most likely this is a dua that is just a reminder for most Muslims. We are taught this dua in our madrasa from a very young age. We are taught it from our parents. If not from our parents, we are taught it as we grow up. It is a dua where the Prophet ﷺ, he put so much emphasis on this dua that he said that if a person says this one dua during the day and then passes away before the night, he will be from amongst the people of Jannah. And if he says it during the night and he passes away before the day, he will be from amongst the people of Jannah. So this is not some simple dua, this is a very, very high dua. Some of the companions of the Prophet ﷺ even said that this is Sayyidul Istighfar. This is Sayyidul Istighfar. That it is the leader, it is the highest level of this Istighfar. And if you understand the meanings of the words, you will come to realize why it is referred to as Sayyid al-Istighfar. And again, it is a dua that is very good for us to learn, but also to teach to our children. When you have a chance, when you sit with your children, it doesn't matter if your child is 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, even 40 years, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given you life, that you bring your children together. And this, again, it was the practice of the Prophets alayhi salam, Ibrahim alayhi salam and Yaqub. When they were even on their deathbed, they were about to die, and their ruh was about to leave their body, they would call their children together, and they would give them advice, and they would teach them. In this type of society, there is this concept that people think that once your child becomes 18 years old, then khalas, they're an adult, and people don't follow up as much. But you will see the Prophets alayhi salam, they still felt the responsibility, and they would call their children all together, regardless of how old their children were. They would say, "Ma ta'buduna min ba'di?" What will you worship after I am gone, I have died, I have passed away? And they would all say, "We will worship your Lord and the Lord of your forefathers." Right? So this hadith is just part of that, the wisdom that the Prophet ﷺ gave us. So this hadith is one that we should practice on a daily basis. And the hadith goes, or the dua goes rather, Allahumma anta rabbi, la ilaha illa ant, khalaqtani wa ana abduk, wa ana ala ahdika wa wa'adika mastata'at. A'udhu bika min sharri ma sana'at, abu'u laka bi ni'matika alayhi wa abu'u laka bi dhanbi, faghfir li fa innahu la yaghfiru dhunuba illa ant. Now, it might sound very difficult. The first time you hear it, subhanAllah, I remember when this one simple dua was actually part of one of the exams that we wrote at the Islamic University. Something very simple. And it was part of the curriculum that they wanted you to learn. And the first time you hear it, if you're not familiar with the dua itself, it takes a little bit of time to learn the dua. But like anything else in life, the more you practice, the more you reread it, the more you hear it again and again, the more you understand and the more importance you give to it, and in turn you will be able to remember it. So I wish to pass this on as a form of homework, something for people to practice on. You can find this dua everywhere. You look on the internet, it is referred to as Sayyid al-Istighfar, and inshallah it will be shared in one of the groups that the community has, the Masjid Iman WhatsApp group. But again, it's a dua that we should always try to memorize. We should practice it as much as we practice Surah Al-Fatiha, so that it becomes easy for us. We teach it to our spouses, we teach this to our wives, we teach it to our children, we teach it to our siblings, people around us. Who would not want to benefit from Sayyid al-Istighfar? Every single person would want to benefit from this dua. So I'll repeat it once more. The Prophet ﷺ said, Allahumma anta rabbi la ilaha illa ant, khalaqtani wa ana abduk, وأنا على عهدك ووعدك ما استطعت أعوذ بك من شر ما صنعت وأبوء لك بنعمتك علي وأبوء لك بذنبي فاغفر لي فإنه لا يغفر الذنوب إلا أنت. So I expect and I wish from brothers and sisters to take this dua to heart and to really practice it. And if you already know it, alhamdulillah rabbil alameen, you pass it on to those who do not know it. And the Prophet ﷺ told us, بَلِّغْهُ عَنِّي وَلَوْ آيَةً. Convey on my behalf, even if it is one verse. If you have a correct understanding of even one verse of the Quran, one hadith from the Prophet ﷺ, then it is your responsibility that you don't keep it to yourself and you pass it on to others.